That comes from the field of neuroscience. So we wanted a high quality, international, affordable education in Kazakhstan, of being part of Kazakhstan and bringing Kazakhstani culture and traditions into our school system.
I think most of the daycares, why they do that, because they don't have professionals who can help these kids,
Yes. We believe in providing what is called 360 degrees of support. We surround the child.
I think we've mentioned that we're inclusive school, right? So our kindergarten is for everyone, for every kid. Okay, so it's been almost 2 years since we opened the Mulberry Academy. My name is Ляйлим and I'm working in kindergarten business since 2011. And I'm the co-founder of Mulberry Academy today.
And my name is Zora Biben, and I'm also a co-founder of Mulberry Academy. I'm an anthropologist and a former professor at Nazarbayev University. And Ляйлим and I worked together to create this for 2 years to create this wonderful project called Mulberry Academy on the campus of Nazarbayev University.
Yes, and it's been almost 2 years, and let's talk about why we opened this school from the beginning.
Yes, let's do it from the beginning. So Mulberry Academy was just an idea in our heads. But when we started talking about education in Astana, we are both mothers, we have young children, and we talked about how and why education is not working for our own kids and for the kids in Kazakhstan. So that's where it all started. We wanted something that was evidence-based, that was focused on the latest science in education. Right? And that comes from the field of neuroscience. So we wanted a high quality, international, affordable education in Kazakhstan, not just for my kids in this case who attend Mulberry Academy, but for all the kids that we could offer this to. We waned to make sure that everybody had access to this education.
For everyone, the only things, of course, people who are our clients is that, of course, the people who can speak English. Our kindergarten is in English language. That's the only thing, I think, the restriction that we have, right?
Yes. So we are a school for all children. And that is very, very important to us.
Yes.
We saw that most of the schools here were for not most of the kids, for a very small number of kids. All the other kids were being left behind or left outside the tent. So absolutely, we are English speaking, but we are very mindful of being part of Kazakhstan and bringing Kazakhstani culture and traditions into our school system. Even the mural that we designed this year for our new renovated space for our preschool groups is based on Kazakh cultural traditions of the story of the Samruk. So the idea is that we are English speaking so we can bring in the latest research, which is coming out of the United States, which is incidentally my home country, though I've lived in Kazakhstan for almost 9 years. So the last 10 years, and you and I have talked about this many, many times, the last 10 to 15 years in fields of psychology, in the fields of neuroscience, in the fields of applying human development evidence to education has been remarkable. It has been a remarkable amount of data that tells us what is the best way for all children to learn, not one type of child, not a neurotypical child who can do what is being asked of her or him, but meeting the children where they're at. So all children flourish, all children grow and develop the way they're meant to, right? And so that's what we wanted. But there was a reason to be able to do it in English, right?
Yes.
Just to be able to have that international connection to the research institutions.
Yeah, and I think a lot of parents are concerned if their child, for example, if he's not speaking English, is that a problem or not?
We have never seen that as a problem.
Yes,
we have always said to parents, everybody is welcome here.
Yes.
Because language, unlike a lot of ideas around language, and you and I have heard them from parents, or they've been told by so-called experts here that there is something called language confusion. But all the data shows us that language confusion is not a thing. For young children to be able to work in multiple languages is a strength. And it's a strength that they develop, a brain strength, a neuro strength that they develop for life. So being able to come into an English-speaking school, preschool like ours is not a problem at all. And I think you and I have seen it.
Yes.
The parents have been really impressed, I think, with the kind of growth and progress their children have made.
I think the biggest evidence that we have today, since we're working, that we had different kind of kids from different backgrounds. For example, we had Turkish kids, from Pakistani families, from Italian families, kids who don't speak Kazakh, Russian, or English, right?
Right, absolutely.
They come, they speak in, I know, Urdu, they speak in Turkish, and then they learn English, they learn Russian, no problem, right, with our kids.
Kazakh
as well. Yes. So there is no problem with the language. I just want to clarify, like, why we called Mulberry Academy.
So we did not pick these names out of the dictionary randomly. We everything about Mulberry was many sessions of sitting together and thinking, right, about ideas that support the philosophy of our school, right, which is a school for all. And we are a community-based school. We look and feel like a home. And all of these things, the way Mulberry looks, the name of the academy, our logo, all of these have very deep, significant, symbolic meanings. So the Mulberry is, of course, native to this part of the world. It is native to Central Asia, to China. And the mulberry tree is the only tree that silkworms eat to produce this beautiful material, this resilient and beautiful fabric called silk. So the kind of environment that we're creating, you'll see a lot of silk, which is an open-ended basically toy. It's open-ended to really let the kids' imaginations run wild. There's a lot of wood. There's a lot of warmth in our schools. You know, people, they walk in and they're just immediately entranced by the beauty, the aesthetic of the place. But the mulberry itself is a really amazing fruit because it is what's called a multiple fruit. It's not like, you know, people are like, people hadn't heard of the mulberry. And so the person who designed our logo, she said, let's just call it a blackberry. What's the difference? And I said, no, it has to be the mulberry. Because unlike those berries, the mulberry is a multiple fruit, which means that each of these drupelets of the mulberry, each of these seeds is actually its own flower, its own, seed. And they come together to form this mulberry fruit. And that really represents what we're trying to do with the school, that we take these wonderful individual human beings, these children who we love and respect, right? So they love and respect us back. But we love and respect them, but we want them to come together in this really organic way to form our mulberry community. And we often talk about ourselves as a family. We're a family at Mulberry. Our parents feel that way. Our children feel that way. Our teachers feel that way. So certainly that's the feeling that we wanted to create when we named the school Mulberry Academy.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people sometimes surprised that kindergarten or daycare can have a philosophy,
that I would think that would be kind of foundational to creating a school.
It should be. I think so too, that any school, they have to have like a core, the philosophy, why they're doing this, what do they want to achieve, by creating the school. So let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that, because that is the foundation. We didn't start Mulberry by saying, oh, let's create a business. Let's just start a project. The whole idea was the pedagogical, philosophical foundation of education. What does education mean? Starting at very young ages, right? So we're talking about, early childhood. Yeah. What does education mean in the 21st century? What kind of world are we preparing our children for? And what will the world look like that we're preparing them for? So there has been a lot of thought, of expertise that we have brought to the table, both you and I, but all the wonderful people that we have worked with in the United States, in Europe, and other parts of the world, to really bring this original idea, right, to life. So Mulberry is an entirely original philosophy, but we draw from, again, the best science that we have available right now, which is related to human development, right? So there are 4 key principles that drive Mulberry Academy. The first key principle is being a movement-based school. So what do we know about movement, about this idea called embodied cognition, right? It's that movement is how children learn. That is simply the way that we are designed to learn about the world around us. And you and I have both seen that a lot of schools, they are almost against movement, right? They expect children, even very young children, to sit for long periods of time at the desk, doing this important work. But it goes against the science. It goes against how children develop and learn. So we do not pathologize movement. We make movement part of the school day, part of the life of the kids, right? Through play, through, classes, specialized classes, right? We have choreographers and gymnastics and scouts and all sorts of wonderful things that we do. But the teachers themselves, the main teachers themselves, really encourage this learning through movement. The second big principle of the school is something called project-based learning. And project-based learning is a gold standard idea that is really borne out by the neuroscience data. What I cannot explain project-based learning, or that's all we'll talk about for the rest of this session. But just to say briefly, and we can talk about it, for a second session or something. But project-based learning is based on the idea that all learning should be internally motivated, that children are inherently curious and they want to learn. We don't have to reward or punish them into learning, right? Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be an adult saying, I want you to learn this. And the child says, yes, sir, or yes, ma'am, right? It has to be a process of collaboration, right? When we are in our workplaces, right? The healthiest workplaces, which I hope is something that we've created. The healthiest workplaces are workplaces where people respect each other, respect each other's ideas, each other's thoughts, and build things together, build projects together. Well, that's really what project-based learning is, applied to school, applied to early childhood education even. We work with an organization called Early Childhood Project-Based Learning, and which is based in the United States. But having the children work on these projects in collaboration with their teachers to come up with questions, to come up with ideas, to come up with how to learn is really the beauty of project-based learning. And it really works for all brains. It works for all types of children. It works for gifted children, twice exceptional children, autistic children, neurotypical children. It's really a remarkable
we can see that
learning experience. We are also a very, very we take very seriously social emotional learning. And social emotional learning is part of project-based learning. It's part of movement-based learning. But we think social emotional learning of young children is a foundational principle. These children are just learning social emotional skills. So we don't want to name these as failures. We want them to see their social emotional learning as a process, right? How do we work together? How do we deal with each other's space? How do we respect each other's boundaries, right? This is a process, and it's a process that we make transparent to young kids so they can learn to be good citizens, right? Eventually, that's what we want. We want them to be good citizens of Kazakhstan or whatever country they come from. Yeah. We want them to be people who can create institutions together, to work together, to move society forward. So that's really why we focus so much on social emotional learning. And the final piece is arts-focused learning in the Waldorf tradition. So, the inspiration comes from a European alternative education tradition called Waldorf. But arts here means everything, not just painting or drawing. It's about theater. It's about performance. It's about creativity, right? So it's this piece, creativity and imagination, that we are using, storytelling and, circle times that are full of stories and movement, nature walks, for example, stories about nature, about the environment around us, as a way to really tap in to the curiosity and the imagination that all young children have.
It's very cool. And I can see, I'm not an educator, but I can 100% see how interesting for children to learn through project-based learning, because we usually, like in Kazakhstan, usually we have a program and teachers go through this program during the year. But when it's project-based learning, I think kids get more curious, about the things. And then we do performances, by the end of each project, which makes kids, I think, very proud.
And the parents.
And the
teachers.
And us.
And us, of course. Yes. Yeah. And I was going to say, project-based learning is good for teachers, right? I think that the idea that teachers want to be handed a lesson plan and just told, go, follow this, don't think, don't ask questions. I think that's completely wrong because teachers, I think the teachers that we have met and the teachers certainly who work at Mulberry Academy, they're the heart of our school. They are passionate people who love children deeply. And they've picked a profession that's not always, let's say, financially the most, remunerative, gives them the most, in that way. But they have picked this profession because of their love and passion for educating young children. And I think these kind of approaches that we have at our school, I think the teachers themselves find it so rewarding, such a rewarding way for them to teach, right? Teachers are not jailers. Teachers are not prison guards. They don't want to be here, right? Like saying, do this, don't do that. Like, they want to be in this joyful, happy relationship with these young children, right? They want to feel the love that they are giving. And the way that our curriculum is set up and designed, it's designed for that relationship. It's designed for that joy. And it allows teachers to think deeply about what it is that they're trying to do in the classroom. So we give our teachers a lot of support, I think. We have a lot of trainings, a lot of wonderful relationships across the world. Our teachers are always involved in professional development. But I think it's at the end of the day, the relationships in the classroom that they get to have with these young children, which are authentic and loving and genuine, that, I think keep them from burning out, because there's always something deep and meaningful and interesting to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and in 2026, since we're like in the beginning of the year, we are starting a new program.
Yes.
It's called Bridge Program. And we have a lot of hopes for this program. And I really want to talk about it, just to open up what does it mean, why we called it Bridge, and why we think that it's going to work in Kazakhstan.
Well, talk about that.
Yeah.
What inspired us? This was a conversation we had about what we were seeing in Kazakhstan, right?
Yeah. So I think we've mentioned that we're inclusive school, right? So our kindergarten is for everyone, for every kid. But in the same time, I see in Kazakhstan that a lot of kids with special needs, it doesn't matter if they have speech delay or any
behavior
kind of
differences.
It doesn't matter. So they cannot find a good school in Kazakhstan. And some of the parents, they just don't want to go to correctional centers, which we hate the name.
Yes. Because the name itself implies that there's a deficit, that there's something wrong with the child, right?
Yes.
Which is not how we see any child.
True. That's so true. So that's why we come up with this program to have a, bridge program, which will help kids to be ready for the kindergarten, to be ready for school, and I think like our parents, who of the kids who are 5 years old, they usually say, oh, do you prepare my kids for the school, and they were thinking, why parents always preparing their kids for the school and not preparing for the kindergarten,
Right.
Even to go to kindergarten, child have to be prepared. And I think this bridge program will be the very cool program, for the kids as a preparation, Doesn't matter kindergarten or school.
Or beyond.
Beyond, yeah, that's true.
So I just wanted to mention that Mulberry Academy as a preschool, kindergarten, and early elementary school is designed for children ages 2 to 11, right? So we take kids, we have, several programs that are called after the cycle of a tree. They're called the sprouts, which is our youngest children, to seedlings, saplings, trees, and canopy. Right? So we've created this kind of much more comprehensive program. The Bridge program is designed for children under the age of 6. At the moment, it is for children ages 3 to 6. We know from a lot of research that early intervention is key for helping children grow and develop in the best possible way for themselves. And this is, part of what you said, right? This is part school readiness. But school readiness is not simply an academic thing, right? Though it involves academics, right? It involves social emotional skills. It involves being ready to work in a group setting, right? It involves being able to take direction. So there are a lot of skills that go into being school ready. What we have seen here, what we have heard from parents, is that because, you've told me like 90% of the preschools here are not able to help young children, these children, who show any kind of difference, really, or just don't fit in, and what we have seen them do is essentially throw up their hands and kick those kids out, right? Or tell the parents, we can't help you.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify that I think most of the daycares, why they do that, because they don't have professionals who can help these kids,
Yes.
Just a teacher, like normal teacher, she's not prepared to do that.
Right.
And she's not getting the help, like from psychologist or methodologist, or I don't know, like
occupational
therapy, or alpha, like trainers, So there's no help, for these teachers, and they cannot do it,
Yes.
That's why kindergartens and the preschools just like push these kids out.
These kids out. And I certainly understand that. But the point is that we need something. This is too early in the game to be giving up on children, right? We do not give up on children. That has to be the mantra of any educational institution that is in this field. Do not give up on children. And the Bridge program was designed precisely for that. It is designed to provide a ratio of children to adults that helps and supports the needs that they have. So unlike our regular school, which has a very good ratio of children to adults, we have generally 2 adults to 15 kids. This is an even higher ratio, right? Where we might see 2 to 3 children per adult, right? And we are providing what we call both therapeutic support and academic support.
Exactly.
So we are neither like the correctional centers nor like regular preschools. In fact, Mulberry itself is a very hybrid approach of thinking about the best science for all children, right? The best evidence applied and created and put into a school so it works for all children. The Bridge program is just an extension of that to provide even more direct therapeutic support within the school day, as well as create school readiness through academics, which often correctional centers neglect, right? So it is exactly that, right? Like a bridge, a most. It takes the children through in this very critical period in their development through a very highly warm, caring, and supportive and rich environment, a language-rich environment. So it creates a lot of language learning, a lot of language support, a physically rich environment, right? So there's a lot of movement, a lot of support. We even, have an osteopath, right? A massage therapist. So we believe in providing what is called 360 degrees of support. We surround the child, right? We because we think of children as whole children, whole human beings, right? We take a whole child approach to education. This is really 360 degrees of support, right? We want to make sure that we give support from every direction, academic, physical, social, parental. So much of this is about training the parents so they can become good advocates for their children. So we work closely at Mulberry, but in this Bridge program especially, we will work very closely with the parents as well to help us support their children. So it really is this, almost like like a warm hug, right? We're just creating a hug circle, right? To provide everything that child needs early so that they can go on to have incredible, rich, productive lives and be wonderful contributing members of society, which we believe they will be if they're given this support early, consistently, and with high quality staff, curriculum, and training.
So at the Mulberry Academy, I think we try to cover every aspect of the kindergarten's life, kids' life, right?
A whole child approach.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like, as you said, the academics, of course, and but the most important, I think, at this period of life, it's food.
Food, sleep.
Yes.
I think so. The journey for a child and a family, and we're not just about this individual child. When we accept a child into Mulberry Academy, we're accepting the family, right?
Sure.
It's almost like a marriage, right?
Exactly.
It's not just an individual. It is the whole support system, the whole family that comes into and becomes part of the Mulberry Academy family. Our parents go through an application process and an interview process, which can be lengthy. I apologize. But the reason for that is because we want to understand the child and the family deeply and fully. We want to understand the child's strengths, the relationships that the child is coming in with, and what is the best way to leverage the child's strengths and interests for a wonderful educational experience, relationship, and journey. So it starts from the very beginning of the process, where we welcome a family into the Mulberry community.
Yeah, and I think application form really helps for teachers, because we have an app where they are having all the information of the kid, and when they're receiving new kid, they know exactly, who he is, if he has allergies or any kind of, I don't know, or he prefers something, in food, in play, right?
Absolutely.
So I think it just gives teachers, the way how to work with this child, right?
Absolutely. So we use this American app, as you mentioned, called Bright Wheel. And Bright Wheel has really helped not just our teachers, but our parents
as well,
to communicate with our teachers and to see evidence-based learning through portfolios that the teachers create. The teachers are daily providing updates. They're providing updates daily, weekly, and at our parent-teacher conference times, all of the evidence that they've collected. So this is not just, I remember 2 months ago we did this thing and I think she liked it. It's not like that. Because the app allows us to, show the parents the lesson plans, the curriculum, the activities, and the progress that the child is making through all the important skills in early childhood education. So that has been, that has a really great value that we provide to our parents who come to Mulberry Academy.
Exactly. And I think in Kazakhstan, I think all the schools and kindergarten are just tired of WhatsApp chats, because if you have
we hate them too.
If you have 3-5 children, you are done. You will have 500 WhatsApp chats, with teacher, without teacher, with parents. So I think this app helps us a lot, right? To just avoid these WhatsApp groups and
WhatsApp groups, nothing against them. We all use them, of course. I'm in probably 500 groups, but the problem of running an educational institution that way is that it is inefficient and unprofessional, right? It is not the most professional way to create a relationship of trust between parents and teachers. And so having this way to see, to communicate, it really, I think, increases the quality and the professionalization of the work that we're doing. We also use other technology and apps. For example, we are on Google Education. And the reason for that is because Google Education allows us to, as a school, organize our own work, organize our own curricula, and have an intranet where our teachers and staff can work together and talk to each other. So we use these tools in order to create professionalization and quality for our children. And that is what we're always looking for, is how do we create a high quality experience for everybody, for the families and for the young kids. That's why, for example, we provide food in-house. Our menus are designed and vetted by a nutritionist who also takes Kazakh traditions into account. But, we know that parents today are very, very, thoughtful, about their children's education. But it's not just educating the mind, it's the whole body, the whole child approach, which means we care about and talk about, the children's sleep. We care about, how they're feeling, their bodies. We're having those conversations constantly. We provide food 3 times a day that is, extremely high quality, locally sourced, right? Products that are cooked daily in our kitchen, so that we can quality control the kind of things that our children are consuming.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify, that of course, we worked with nutritionists and everything, but at the same time, just want that everyone understand that we're not doing some super special menu. It's just a normal food, right? But we are just trying to avoid, for example, sugar, right?
Yes.
So it's a sugar-free. We're trying to
use simple carbohydrates.
Yes.
We use more protein.
Yes.
We want what's called kind of balanced diet with vegetables, with fruits, with protein, with what are called complex carbohydrates. So nutrition is not something magical.
True.
Nutrition is not. I don't believe in excluding parents from this process by making it too complicated. Because one of the things we love to do is share our recipes with the parents so they can make them at home with the kids.
I think this is the most important thing, If kid is not eating this at home, so this food is unfamiliar, he's not eating this in the kindergarten.
Yes, and we
makes
try to
our life
more difficult. Yeah. And because the foods that we care about the presentation of the food. We want it to be, parents will sometimes say, wait, you're serving hamburgers? Like, how's that healthy, right? Or pizza? But this is healthy pizza, right? With vegetables and hamburgers with, locally sourced meat and whole wheat, buns, right?
And we cook this bread,
and we cook it in-house, right? So the idea is we don't want nutrition to become another thing that excludes parents from their children's education. And I think a lot of schools, and I'm not saying that don't do this, but a lot of schools, in order to show how innovative they are and how interesting they are and how cool they are, what they do is they make things so complicated that the parents feel excluded from their child's education. The parents have to be part of the journey, whether it's the 100%. Food journey, whether it's sleeping journey, whether it's the journey of, quality physical health or mental health or academic health of the child. We have to support the parents to align ourselves, right? It's not enough to do the things we do, all the wonderful things we do at Mulberry Academy. It has to also be done at home.
Exactly.
Right? And so we are always looking to bring parents into the process, to include them, to not make things so complicated and difficult. Science, evidence, right, doesn't mean complicated ideas.
100%.
Right? We want our parents to understand. That's why we offer classes for our parents, right? We offer sessions for our parents. We do training for our parents. We don't just do training for our teachers. Why do we do that? Why do we explain the neuroscience process to parents? Because neuroscience-based education is not just for schools and teachers, it's also for parents. Parents can do neuroscience-informed parenting. And when they do that, then we really have this beautiful situation where we're all aligned, all working for the development of the child, you know?
And I think this is, so essential that we're working with our parents very closely, because nobody expects, when we're having our children, nobody teaches us,
There's no manual.
how to be a parent. Okay, we love our children, and that's it.
And we want the best for them.
Exactly.
Whatever that means.
But sometimes when there is a challenges with the child, we just don't know what to do.
And all children will have them. I mean, we have to understand that there will be a minority situation where a child is so easygoing that there's nothing that comes up for the parent. It's like the easiest thing in the world, right? Most of us, the parenting journey is the hardest things we have done in our lives, right?
True.
And we have to do it in a meaningful, thoughtful way, because we are hoping that our children are going to grow up to be kind, respectful, meaningful, and contributing members of human society, of the human family. So we love working with our parents. We don't like to create a difficult or antagonistic relationship with our parents, because parents are our partners. They're our partners, and everything works well when we're all together.
That's true. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ляйлим and I speak every single day, but this is a great chance, a great opportunity for us to talk to and share with the wider world, with the wider community, with the wider group of parents in Astana, in Kazakhstan, what we're doing, what we're thinking about every day. We hope to continue talking with each other. We hope to tell you guys about a lot of new and exciting projects, such as Kulun Club, which is our equine assisted learning program, which is a cool and awesome program that we do at Mulberry. We hope to talk about all of that and more in the next sessions that we do together.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.